Hello, my little nerds and nerdettes. Please join us for another episode of
Dungeon Crawlers!
Are we missing somebody? Okay, no,
Are
Evelyn
we?
is here.
No.
She was so quiet I didn't even hear her come in.
She ain't even said shit.
mm,
Because we were arguing about fucking whether
That's
or not a bonk can get rage damage on fists.
I mean, time will tell. I will toss the idea around. As it is, the thread is still going.
Yes.
Party. Super late tonight. I had some things come up here at the house, but the party left off fighting Bellaquil, the pleasant pain, or
Dresgak.
yeah, you came close to being almost wiped out. A very harsh and hard fight for the party. Decisions being made, some lines being drawn in the sand. Sophia choosing to say, "Flick the bird," and go out with style. A couple of you guys actually kind of threw that flick the bird. Nah, we ain't doing this. An example was almost made of the party, whereas one individual stepped up, signed a contract, and took the hit for the party. Upon leaving the library, bloodied, wounded, bruised, egos shattered, you make your way back to the beans, where you lay the contract out at the table and you guys begin to read it through clearer. Off screen, those of you that are watching, some things were found out about the contract. Also, Axel had a little bit of a breakdown, realizing that he may or may not have to make a trip back to somewhere that he does not want to make a trip back to. Decision was made, and the question kind of tabled for later. As you made your way back into the house, upset, kind of disheveled, to find Mr. and Mrs. Bean cooking a supper as the rest of the group kind of sat around the table, hanging out, or I believe Evelyn and Sophia were still partially reading through the contract. And that's where we left off. So we will leave off with Mr. and Mrs. Bean are kind of talking in the corner, nonchalantly, quietly, and you notice that Axel and Nova, as you guys are kind of walking in, you guys notice the rest of the party kind of standing around almost where you left them. A couple shuffles, but Sophia and Evelyn are still very much at the table and very much reading through the contract, kind of deeply ingrained and trying to read the fine print or really focus on what's on the piece of paper. Patience has kind of kicked her feet up on the couch, head way back. She's doing that relaxed fighter stance, like I'm gonna get 5 minutes of sleep, like a power nap if I can.
Yep. She's napping.
And Mr. and Mrs. Bean look to be making some kind of like meat soup or something like that.
Yeah, I'll pull Axel back to the table and sit down next to Evelyn and Sophia. Find anything out while you've been reading? I'd be asking both of them, Evelyn and Sophia, if they found anything out.
Nothing that's going to get us out of it.
Anything
in a preferable way.
We didn't hear you, Nova.
I said,
I
I
mean,
don't think there's
sorry.
anything in it that's a good way out.
Yeah, no, other Nova.
Condemning a bunch of people, not ideal.
Yeah.
So do we know what the task is? It's hard to say. There is indeed some fine print.
Anything that we should be worried about?
Well, it's it's up to what's his name? Drazgak. It's up to Drazgak if the contract is fulfilled to his liking. And if the task is not completed exactly how he wants, or fast enough, or adequately enough, or according to what he wants, he doesn't have to end it.
That's a pretty big deal. That doesn't seem
And
fair.
if I know anything about devils, they don't give up their assets easily. Drazgak will argue that we failed him in some way. Whether we took too long, or killed the wrong person, or, ate the wrong meal before we rescued someone.
That doesn't seem fair at all. So, what do we do then?
It's too late. We have to hope that Drazgak is not in too much need for us.
What would happen if we were to kill her? Would that end the contract? Does that work at all?
Kill Drazgak?
Yeah, does that end the contract if she dies?
I would imagine that would suck patience into the hells and trap her there.
So there's no way out of it. It's either do this task and hope that she's satisfied, or don't do the task. But either way, it could result in a negative outcome.
I'm afraid that's how it reads. Drazgak knew we wouldn't be able to find this information fast enough.
That's
Why you
why
don't
I
make
tried
deals
to-
with devils.
That's why I tried to read it as best I could before anything happened. I didn't realize.
I hope you
everything
understand, Nova, the sacrifice patience made for
Of
everyone
course I
else.
understand.
Sophia kind of just walks away angrily.
This wasn't my fault. Out of character, sorry. I wouldn't have said that in character. I'm just gonna have kind of a concerned and a little bit of a solemn look on my face at the same time while I stare at the contract.
I don't think any of us could have made a better choice.
She didn't give us any time. I did my best to try to read it and told her to give me time to read it, but she pushed it towards patience and pressured her. I feel like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do.
We make the best choices we can in the moment, and now we just have to figure it out.
I'm gonna glance over at Patience on the couch and just kind of stare at her for a moment, still with a solemn expression.
Eyes are closed. Either she's sleeping or she's otherwise not paying attention to what's happening.
I couldn't help but overhear as we're cooking in here, but you fought a devil?
Yeah, we fought a devil.
Really? Here in Molten Hammer? Does she are we safe?
Oh,
Did you
she's
kill her?
she's not here anymore. It was a devil we ran into, but it has nothing to do with anybody here.
But here in the city, should we not alarm the guards?
No, it's I think it was somebody trying to sneak in. We managed to get rid of her.
Make a deception check.
Fucking hell! I forgot we were talking out loud in front of them.
In
We're
theory,
not supposed to tell anyone.
Shit. Hold on, I'm gonna give myself guidance. 1d4 ability check, deception. Roll. Ooh, I rolled a natural 20, but I can still add a d4. I rolled a natural 20. It's 27 without my d4.
Okay, let's go. Her eyes kind of widen and then soften when you tell her that the problem was dealt with, and you basically let her know that it's fine, and she kind of softens up and okay, that's good to know. I was going to talk to my cousin and let him know that we have a problem within the city, but all right, I will keep making.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
assuming.
sorry. I didn't mean to alarm you. It actually
No,
it has
no
nothing.
worries.
It unfortunately is something that's been following us for a while, and I think we've dealt with the situation finally.
Good.
I have. Miss Bean? Mrs. Bean?
Yeah. Yes, honey.
I have some good news for you.
Oh. What?
We retrieved the documents you needed
Really?
to have your smith restored. Yes.
You see, Mr. Bean, Harold stops cooking and kind of slowly starts to turn around. Oh. You do?
I don't remember. Axel, you have it?
I'll take
Oh,
the
look.
deed out of my pack and hand it to her.
And you see her quickly, like both of them, kind of fumbling across the scroll, and they undo it and they set it on the table. Harold, we have it. We can. We have it. We can work again. Ah, I can't wait to feel iron in my hands again. Oh, I'm cracking it open tonight. You see him like walk into the back room and hear a bunch of like clanging and some swear words, and he comes back out with this dusty bottle, cracks it open, and begins to pour a glass for every single one of you guys. What do you say? A cheer?
Cheers.
Well, I guess we can cheer. All right. To Beanworks. To Beanworks.
To be
And he
more
slams the drink down. All of you guys make Constitution saving throws.
I would clink, but I would not partake.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
Oh shit. I rolled a 9.
9 is okay.
Sorry, I rolled my fuzzy dice.
Is Patience taking a drink?
No.
Okay.
She's eyes closed.
Okay.
On the couch.
Those of you that took a drink, if you were under a 12, it burns like a motherfucker. It is some of the strongest drink you have had. And you watch Mr. Bean like, oh, that right there is, oh, that's dwarven made. Fuck yeah. Yes, that's a little, more aged than I anticipated, but very good. What do you guys think? That's made from local plants here around Molten Hammer. They say really only dwarves are supposed to drink it, as our constitutions are a little bit higher, but you guys look like you all handled it really well. As he looks over and Nova, your face, you're like doing the sour beer face, the shitty tequila face, like way late in the night. You're like,
Just
Like
as a heads
having
up,
a
Ginge, I still have 5 days before I can feel the effects of being drunk.
yeah, not drunk, just when you've had too much, and I know you've all felt this. When you've had a little bit much to drink, and then you take that shot of like Patron or like tequila, and it goes down, and you have to force it to go down, and then it catches halfway in the throat and does that little like oop, oop, and then you have to force it back down, and it's burning the entire fucking time, and then it hits the stomach, and you insta get that heartburn. That is this.
I feel so personally attacked with the tequila.
Yes. I hate tequila, so it is
Oof.
disgusting.
Yeah, so I'll make the face and kind of
Yeah,
like try
it's
to hide
rough.
it.
It's rough.
Sophia handles it fine enough. She'll shake her head a little bit and kind of try and hide a wince, but not.
You've drank some weird shit that was made in some of the back streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, oh, that was wrong, but I've had worse. But
I think Patience and I only knew what we were drinking about half the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
While everybody's distracted, and after, just for reference, after that deception, I will have like nonchalantly rolled up the contract to hide it.
Okay. Roll a sleight of hand. Yes.
At advantage because we're distracting them with drinks in the
I will give you advantage.
I'll distract them asking about what plants it's made from.
Oh, natural 20! The fucking fuzzy dice are hitting nice tonight.
I gotta fucking squash that shit.
Well, it didn't help me with the con saving throw.
Fair enough.
I got another natural 20. Which brings it to 20 because I have 0 for sleight of hand.
That does not work. Okay. Anyways, I was trying to charge my phone, but the charging cable for my Meta does not work for my cell phone. Yeah, you are easily able to, as the shots are being taken and the winces are happening, Evelyn begins to spew on randomly about the effects of maple leaves and tequila, and how the mixing of it really creates quite a satisfying drink going down. Honestly, you should try it. And she just kind of begins to like ramble on about the effects of healing and
it's a digestive too, so
there you go.
It's benefits.
She's just gonna spit facts.
Yeah, she's spitting facts, and just it just carries on a little bit more. And while she's doing that, you kind of like side eye her and like quickly roll the scroll up and like tuck it up under your shirt a little bit.
Perfect. Is the dinner on the table yet, or had they not served it yet?
They had not served it yet.
Okay.
But several moments kind of goes by. You guys are standing there, and the two Beans give you guys all a smile, and Mrs. Bean looks extremely happy. Mr. Bean keeps cracking his knuckles and like kind of like mumbling to himself and like doing little things, and then they quickly turn back around and they begin to work on like the stew again. Several moments goes by. Anybody in the meantime?
No, I'm gonna be tight-lipped about this at this point because I had forgotten about the conditions of the contract.
Okay.
So I'll probably just be like looking at the table deep in my head.
Okay. Several moments go by, and each one of you is served a fresh loaf of bread on the center of the table, cut up nicely, with a bunch of fresh veggies as well, and a heaping bowl of like meat and potato type soup, like a really thick soup. And the beans sit down, and you watch as they kind of look at you, and they set like a pitcher of what looks like water in the middle and pour themselves a drink, and they begin to kind of dig in. They reach across the table, grab a slice of bread. Dinner served.
I think I'll just ask. I guess Sophia makes the most sense. If she has a way to make ice.
I got rid of that spill.
So, Sophia, you have anything cold?
Oh, what do you want chilled?
What's that?
Do you want something chilled?
I'll hand you like a towel, like a cloth, like a handkerchief, or whatever I have on me.
Okay. I'll immediately turn the towel very cold.
And I'll just wrap it around my head and eat dinner in silence.
Feel better?
I will. Thank you.
A bit of a headache?
Yeah, something like that. And I'll eat what bread is there.
Okay. It is delicious. It's kind of like a sourdough. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have some bread too.
The food is very good. Think of it kind of like a chicken and gnocchi, except for with like a heavy sausage, almost gamey like a deer, and large chunks of potato. But very good. I don't know if you've ever had chicken and gnocchi, but that's some of my favorite soup. I love me some. But then again, I am a northern boy, and meat and potatoes is how I was raised.
Potatoes.
Mm.
Potatoes, tomatoes, greens, beans.
Potatoes mashed, potatoes baked, potatoes cooked, potatoes
Let's
grilled, potatoes.
Precious.
Yes, me love potatoes.
Feels
The
like
meal is extremely delicious. About an hour goes by, and the entire time that you guys are having a meal, Harold is putting back drinks back to back to back to back to back. And after about an hour, Harold is passed the fuck out at the table. Head down, right next to his bowl, half finished. He's eaten about half of the bread to himself, and he's currently out. And Mrs. Bean has had a couple, and her cheeks are super, super, super rosy, and so is the tip of her nose. She looks pretty lit up. Well, I believe I'm going to take Mr. Bean, and I believe we're going to call it tonight, as I believe I've had a little bit too much to drink, and...
About the gold you promised?
Gold, what?
About the gold you promised for returning the deed?
Kind of. Does that have to be done now? I can barely
I would
see.
appreciate it, yes.
Okay. What did we agree upon price again?
Yeah, it was 100 gold each, so 600 gold?
100 gold each? Oh. I actually can't remember if that was a lie or a truth.
That was a total lie. I don't think
Yeah,
they
I
even
thought
promised
so.
any gold.
Roll a deception check. Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know if I ever promised gold. I was sitting here like, I don't remember doing that.
She's drunk out of her mind, though, right?
Yeah, she's pretty drunk.
14.
Okay, 14. Just gonna see how fucked up she is. We'll roll this at disadvantage. Okay. I don't keep that amount of gold here, but I can give you what I have here, and then tomorrow I'll have to make a run to the bank.
Oh, that would be great.
Okay. One. She kind of like leans down and grabs her pouch and reaches over and grabs Harold's next to her, and pours the pouches together and all right, throws it across the table.
I'll grab it.
Okay. It's decently sized. On that note, though, I believe that I've literally had way too much to drink, and I think I need to go to bed. Harold. Harold. Hammer. Alright, he's gonna sleep here. I'm gonna go to bed. And she stands up and you watch as she like misses the chair and catches herself. Okay. Here we go. Several moments go by and she kind of stumbles and makes her way to the stairs, and up the stairs you hear clunking, and like 30 seconds goes by and you hear a loud like clanging bang noise, and then silence.
I'll pawn up the gold.
I'll just whisper. How much do you think we got in there?
Yeah, I'll take a look inside.
It's about 303 gold.
About 300. Hopefully they'll forget about it by the morning.
Nice.
I'll make enough back for the myths open.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not like we didn't earn it.
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna go to bed. And I'll
Okay.
slowly get up from the table and kind of nod at everybody and head up, or head to the room.
Make a perception check, Nova.
Perception.
Mm.
That is persuasion.
Yes, no. Perception.
11.
Out of the corner of your eye on the way up, you take a look at, kind of like glancing at Patience just to kind of see, I don't know, if she's changed, if she looks different, if she's alive, does making a contract with the devil change you? Like little things. Kind of glance at her, but you don't notice anything different. She's sleeping, head all the way back in the chair, feet are up. See the slow fall of the chest. Just make your way towards the stairs and up to your room for the night.
Before she heads up, I'll say, hold up. We're not going to need that.
Not need what?
Follow me?
I will follow.
I know what's gonna happen.
I will head outside and go around to either the left or right side of the house. Doesn't matter which.
Yep.
You remember how I had something to show you?
Oh, yeah.
One thing before you do that.
Motherfucker.
One thing.
Oh.
Oh?
They leave.
They left. What
We
is
will
happen?
never know what is
What
said.
is happen? What is happen?
Oh,
But why? But why? What is happen?
You, Monty Python intermission.
Billy Mays here.
Well, this is going on the conspiracy board with Mr. Bean.
I fucking love that. Mr. Bean is circled in red on my conspiracy board. Ah, he is a scholar and a gentleman.
That's what he wants you to think.
Evelyn remains suspicious.
when were you occasionally glancing at me?
I did it multiple times.
Oh yeah, she hasn't moved.
Oh, I know. And I was messaging Ginge some shit on the side too. That's what my roles were for. Well, the
You-
last one.
Was
weren't
you
supposed to see
reading
what
my
it was.
mind?
No.
All right,
No, I was not. You would have known.
Sounds like someone who is.
No, you would have known. You would have known. You would have had to make
So-
a save.
You make your
It's
way
fair.
out of the. Oh shit! You make your way
Your
out of the
camera's off,
house.
Ginge. Put it back on.
I don't care. No,
Yes.
I must stay hidden.
No.
I'm eating, cause I'm always hungry. You make your way out of the house. You take a left and you kind of make your way into the alley. Axel seems to be skipping for some reason. Like, not actual skipping, but you've known Axel for a long time. And the way he's walking is kind of
Upbeat.
from his earlier, like really angry, really upset. This is more jovial.
Okay. That'll be a nice surprise. Kind of lift my spirits a little bit.
What did I say? I said, remember how I said I had something to show you?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, he says as he produces the black chalk that he was examining earlier in the night. Or in the evening.
Ooh.
And he draws basically just like the outline of a doorway, just like, just simple four-sided rectangle. As soon as he finishes the rectangle, the inside of it starts to coalesce and form almost like this shadowy, smoky doorway.
I'm gonna raise my eyebrow and be a little bit leery, especially given where we got that from.
He'll look at you very, very, with like a big smile on his face, and he'll sort of gesture towards it and say, after you.
Are you sure it's safe? I mean, that devil did have that.
I took the time to thoroughly examine it.
Alright. I trust you. And I will walk through the door.
Describe as you grab the door solidifies and becomes a gorgeous like oak mahogany like dark doorway with intricate designs, very 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 pretty, etched runes along the doorway. The doorknob is kind of a very like a gold ornate handle, and you turn it, and as you open, it kind of like slowly lights up on the inside, and as you walk through, Axel.
As soon as she walks in, she would see a 15 by 15 empty stone room. Has about like a 10-foot high ceiling. And even though it doesn't look it's completely, all the walls are flush and flat, made out of this like simple, probably like dark gray stone. And even though it doesn't seem to have any lights, it seems the entire room seems to be lit up with like this sort of soft ambient blue glow. And like a few seconds after you walk in, he follows in behind you.
I will be kind of in awe and just kind of look at the room. Oh, that's a pretty neat trick. Made a room within a door. Is it like some kind of dimension?
Right, it's an extra dimensional space similar to the portable hole.
Oh, wow.
But unlike that, this place has its own air, so we can breathe here, and we can stay here as long as we want.
I'm gonna grin. Well, that is super handy.
That's not even the best part. As long as I haven't figured out the exact logistics of it yet, but as I draw the doorway, whatever room design I'm thinking of, it makes that room, furnishings and everything.
Oh, perfect. So we don't even have to worry about places to stay anymore.
He gives a big smile and nods. Exactly.
Oh,
This
that is
is,
such a relief.
Yeah, this will be a huge addition of security.
What about the door outside, though?
As soon as the holder, and he sort of like wiggles the chalk in his hand, as soon as the holder of the chalk enters the room, the only thing that's left behind on the outside is a faint chalk drawing.
Kind of like a smoky chalk outline. So it's visible, but not very visible.
So there would be no door that anyone could open?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. So it is literally completely secure.
Pretty much.
Wait, what about if that outline, what if it were to get destroyed?
As soon as I want to, I can force open the doorway again, and it'll recomplete itself.
Okay. Well,
We
then
don't have to worry about being trapped in here, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I was worried about if there's any level of destruction to the chalk outline, if we would be trapped.
You mean if they were to like wipe part of it away or something?
Yeah, or if it were to rain, or I don't know.
No, shouldn't have to worry about that. As long as we have a big enough surface, it can either be a wall or a floor. Just gotta draw the outline of the door, and it'll appear.
Does that chalk last forever, or does it eventually get used up?
Can only use it 2 times per day.
Ah,
But,
that's too much.
No, it's not. But beyond that, it replenishes itself.
Wow. Well, that's great for traveling. We literally don't have to worry about finding inns anymore, or rooms, or paying for rooms, or getting stuck in really cramped places like we did earlier, where we had to change to a different location.
Exactly.
Real quick, so out of character, the room I know is just a stone room. Is there anything in it currently?
No.
So, in the future, when you open this room, you could have it set up for it to look like a room, or to have everything we need for a room, or a place to sleep.
I can furnish it in whatever way I think of, as long as it doesn't exceed... my theory is the total furnishings can't exceed a certain gold limit, but that's just the running theory.
Awesome. That shouldn't be too hard. I mean, we don't need anything special.
So,
Right.
out of character, out of DM, you have the portable hole on you, right? The black hole?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna explode.
I know what you're asking. This wouldn't tear a hole and teleport us to the astral plane, because demi-planes are kind of like their own special category of extra-dimensional space. It's weird.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Demi-plane and...
If you look at the actual demi-plane spell, it doesn't mention anything about, placing a bag of holding inside or, And neither do like the bag of holding or like the portable hole mention if you take this inside of a demi-plane than it does the bad shit. So
Well, that would be important to know.
Yeah.
I guess that's true, because a bag of holding is pretty common. So to have a spell like Demiplane, they would surely write. It would be in there.
right.
The purpose of the spell is to have a sanctuary for a party that very likely has a bag of holding.
Yeah, and the spell Demiplane actually doesn't even use the phrase extra dimensional space. It just uses the phrase Demiplane. So
Oh.
it's weird. It's like its own sort of special thing.
Okay.
Um.
Okay.
That was a interesting point to bring up, though, Ginge. That would it be concerning?
I was
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
And I
thinking.
imagine from Axel examining it, he would probably learn details like that and know better.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. We shall see. Maybe we'll implode inside of a demi-plane. Okay, so after kind of understanding how the space works, I'm gonna sit down on the floor and let out a big sigh. Maybe stay in here a while. I know it's not furnished yet, but I don't
Right.
really.
Always have bedrolls for now.
Yeah, and that's okay. I don't really want to. I kind of wanted to go to sleep anyway.
Feeling a little bit beaten down.
Yeah, a little bit frustrated by what happened and what we might have to do. And I guess I don't really like the direction that we're going in and how things have kind of turned out. And I feel a little bit to blame because I did push for us to go to Molten Hammer, and I did push for us to try to help the beans, and I feel like if we hadn't done those things, maybe we wouldn't be in this predicament.
You're the one that pushed for us to go here. I think I remember me being the most forthright advocate.
Yeah, but I really wanted to come here too, especially after learning about that Nathaniel guy. Or shit, what's his name? Nathaniel. Wait. Let me look at my notes 1 second.
That sword's too big
no,
for you,
okay,
KB.
No, I wouldn't have said Nathaniel. I would have said the Merchants Guild. After learning about the Merchants Guild from when we were, I don't know, in the desert, I really wanted to come here. And same thing with the beans. I feel like I really pushed everybody to help them. I know that they wanted to, but I don't know. I feel a little bit to blame.
You know that once I heard about it, I wasn't going to stop until we made it right.
I know. But if I hadn't said anything, or if I had said, let's move on and not get involved, I don't know. I just feel like things used to be so carefree before, you know, just not really worrying about stuff. And I feel like we've just gotten so caught up in all of this extra shit that I would have never really cared about before.
He nods and is saying, like, I get you.
And now I feel guilty because I'm potentially gonna drag you into having to go back to the wastelands, to a place you don't want to go back to. And I don't want to ask that of you, especially knowing how badly you don't want to go there.
Sort of gets like a bitter look on his face. But he like quickly wipes it off. He says, well, you're not the one who should feel guilty for that. If those four hadn't been so pushy on searching that room, we could have just taken the papers and left, and none of this would have happened to begin with.
That's very true. But a part of me thinks that the Nova before would have just been like, well, thanks for signing that contract, and just went on our merry way. And now I feel like there's this level of indebtment ode to patience. That's gonna push me in a direction that I don't want to go, or I don't want to force you to go in. And I don't know how to fix that.
Gives it a moment of thought. Well, could always ask Arya for help. Like I said, I got. No, he didn't say this actually, so he'll say now. When I was searching Sophia's pack, I got the stone as well. So if we wanted to talk to her, we can do that. But either way, seems like we're so deep in it now that the best course of action to take is to just get it over with as fast as possible.
Yeah. I don't know how Arya would be able to help. I just have this bad feeling that this creature is gonna make us go down there. You know, it does say in that contract that there could be something else, but my bet is that she's gonna give us the worst option, which is probably gonna be going to the wastelands, and Arya probably won't be much help for that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking about it too hard, and we're just gonna have to roll with the punches and see what happens and figure it out from there, I guess.
Whatever comes, I think you already know what I'm about to say.
I do, but I also want you to know that I don't expect you to do something that you wouldn't have done if it wasn't for the fact that I'm just asking you to. I don't want to ask something of you that is wrong. So I need to try to fix this. I don't know how yet, but I need to try to figure it out.
He gives you a warm, knowing smile, and see his tail sort of swishing a little bit behind him. Says, I made a promise. And this time, I'm not gonna break it. Not ever again.
And I'll smile back at you. I know that you wouldn't. You've always held true to your word. And I trust that completely. And with that, I'll probably, not ending conversation with you, but I'll grab my bedroll out and kind of situate it on the ground to get comfortable and lie down on it.
As will
Okay.
I.
As you two kind of clamber up, get comfy, and begin to cozy in, the room, it's lightly lit and a little cool, and after a moment, you settle in and get comfortable. What are the rest of you doing?
Did the rest of us get our own room, or did we just sleep in the living room last time? I don't remember.
You were given rooms. There was a couple, and now with Axel and Nova gone, that room would be open.
Then I would just be kind of, chilling in that living room, finishing up food, probably finishing off my drink, and I would just wait until patience goes up, and then so I'll just be sitting around waiting for patience.
Okay. Patience is head back, eyes closed, looks to be passed out.
Well, Sophia would probably know that by the way that she's breathing, that she's not asleep. But she is not moving.
And eventually I'd just go over and kind of tap you on the arm and see what to say. Should we get some rest?
Without opening her eyes. I'm all right here. Just I'm just thinking.
I'll kind of shake your arm a little bit harder.
I said I'm all right here.
Okay.
I'll stay out here.
And I won't say anything. I'll just make my way up to the room. And go to bed.
KB, Evelyn.
I'm gonna get a little bit of the earth outside the door. Is that possible? What or is this?
I mean, there's earth, but it's like potted plant earth, you know. So you got to dig into like where the little plants are. That's
yeah,
about it. Everything else is
like
stone.
a garden outside or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of that and add it to my bag, and then I'll set up my like my bedroll and stuff in the main room where Patience is, and I'll just get the hay in there. I rolled con save for exhaustion, and I rolled a nat one, so I'll be exhausted tomorrow.
Oh, you're staying up through the night?
No, I'm gonna sleep, but I used all of my psychic abilities, so
Oh, gotcha.
I need to roll for restfulness,
Ooh.
and I got a nat one, so.
Okay. Duly noted. So KB without an instant patience, like you hear KB kind of rustling around, getting the bedroll out, and you hear him lay down, and within like 20 seconds, you just hear, and he's out cold.
Just honk shoeing.
Just
Yeah.
yeah. Evelyn.
I'll probably find the quiet area in that main area and trance.
Ooh, full elf.
Okay. So you go find yourself one of the emptier rooms. You set yourself up and you
I
begin
don't think I would
to.
like leave. I think I'd stay in the main area
Oh, you're gonna say okay.
and just
So
trance. Because
you
like their
find.
house was ransacked. Oh no, they faked that though. I don't know. I feel like I'd still be on edge.
Yeah, the house was broken into, but they defended it and then cleaned it up afterwards.
I cleaned.
Yes, you
Yeah.
cleaned.
I
You
think
cleaned and
between
reorganized.
that and like an encounter with a devil, I'm on edge. So I'm probably just gonna trance in the main room.
Okay. So you kind of set up across the main area from Patience in one of the chairs, and you kind of get up on the chair, tuck your legs in, and kind of get yourself comfortable. And after a couple moments, you initiate your trance and begin to kind of mellow out, letting go of the day's stressors. Everybody going to bed?
I would
Yeah,
definitely
Okay.
fall
Yeah,
asleep without
but
too much resistance because
So,
of being exhausted.
I gotta
uh,
meditate on all the
I
crimes we
am
committed.
trying to do what we talked about, or
yes,
what I
yes.
messaged you about.
War, could you give me some sleepy musics?
Yes, one second.
Not eerie. I just want somber.
Dreamy
Give me the dreamies.
music.
Hmm. What did we roll last time for that patience? I think it was wisdom, wasn't it?
I think, yeah. I don't remember exactly what we did, but I'll do that. Oops, that's not character sheet. I click. That's pretty good.
19. Okay. But has the music?
It's on.
Thought I heard something.
Why do I hear nothing?
Right, it's not. Hold on.
I was gonna say, I'm like, am I deaf? God, did it finally happen?
Right, it's not playing it. Hold on.
all those years,
Bald
those-
and deaf now.
all those years of going to concerts without earplugs
Is it not playing the music in the channel?
caught up
Why
with
is
you
it not doing
finally.
that? Is it
Yo.
playing? Hold on.
I was front row at Rammstein.
Oh,
No,
yeah, your ears are gonna be fucked.
Yeah,
I'm
we
fully
had
convinced hearing is a resource. If you don't die deaf, you didn't do it right.
True,
Exactly.
true.
Yeah, you remember the movie? For those of you that are old enough, remember the Triple X movie with Vin Diesel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember that song in the very beginning? I went and saw that live, and they do just about the same thing.
Yeah. Rammstein and Godsmack together was one of
Oh,
the
I can
best
only
shows
imagine.
that I've ever been to. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, Rammstein puts on. I've never seen Godsmack, but I can only fucking imagine. I've seen Rob Zombie, Rammstein, and those are my top two. Rob Zombie was,
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, so Rammstein is more like pyrotechnics and like crazy like metal.
The show.
Rob
Yeah.
Zombie is like metal and horror. It is
Yeah,
wild.
I
Can
got
you
to see.
guys hear
I
the
was in the
music now?
pit. Yeah,
Okay.
I was in the pit for Sabaton, and when they did Attack of the Dead Men, all
Yeah.
of them went off stage, came back on with gas masks, and Joachim had like a smoke machine that was made to look like a flamethrower, and they had all the lights in like yellow and green, so it looked like poisonous gas was everywhere. It was sick.
Hell yeah.
Um,
That sounds awesome.
Rammstein does the same thing, except for he legit puts a flamethrower attached to his face and he sweeps the crowd.
Dude,
It's I was literally 30 feet from the front of the stage, and he sweeps the crowd.
And then I love the drum that like explodes out into fire at the end. Oh
Yeah.
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 It's the best.
I love when you're so close to the stage that you can just feel the heat from the pyrotechnics as they're
Oh,
going
yeah.
off on the. I love it.
Nova.
Did y'all see Gene Simmons just lit his hair on fire? I don't know if that was new, but I just
That's
saw
awesome.
it like a video of it. And he just kept playing like nothing. One of the roadies came and like put a blanket over his hair. Like it was torched.
Telling
Poor
you.
Nova. I'm over here talking about Chicken and Gnocchi, and she's over here scrolling TikTok, and Chicken and Gnocchi recipe showed up in her TikTok.
I've never seen, like, never heard of it.
So, it's so awesome. I'll send you my recipe. That way you know,
yes,
you know
lovely,
I'm a
lovely
vegetarian.
Chinese spyware, dude.
it's good.
I'm a
All right.
vegetarian. What am I
Xi
gonna do with
Jinping
that?
knows you wanted chicken and gnocchi.
All right. So
How do you spell it? Just
Chicken
real quick.
gnocchi?
Gnocchi,
G-
Gnocchi.
yeah.
I guess I could make it for Nick because like I can't eat that, but he would
Oh,
eat
I
that.
see.
Oh.
Yeah,
But that's just
gnocchi is a thing
Gnocchi
by
is
itself.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
without chicken, it's still amazing.
we actually have some in the cupboard because Valhalla was talking about gnocchi and now we have it and haven't done anything with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cause you're vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Vodka sauce.
Yeah, you can substitute other things. I mean, I've done tofu in it before.
Honestly, gnocchi and sauce is good.
Yeah.
So straight up.
straight
Sometimes if I know the
Just
wife
like-
isn't gonna eat it with me, I'll do
Straight up.
deer sausage and I'll put it in my chicken and gnocchi. Yeah, cause she won't. She refuses. I have to put a separator in the freezer to separate any of my deer stuff on the other side of the freezer so it doesn't touch any of our frozen foods. Makes no sense. I love my wife, love her to death, but she's an absolute freak.
Yeah, I just got on this past weekend.
Yeah.
And she was like, clear out the freezer drawer for the that we call the deer drawer. Like, it's not going in the regular space. Yeah.
Yeah, no, can't touch, can't be anything near. If I cook it on the grill, I have to disinfect the grill afterwards. And she eats turkey, she eats chicken, but this thinks deer's gross. And I'm like, you realize deer is healthier for you than beef, right? Like
yeah.
10 times. better.
1000%.
Well,
Yeah,
see
so much better.
the thing is,
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I love food. I love food. I love food a
So the
lot. So I
beans, the
travel.
beans brought a deer.
Yeah.
So
The beans had deer sausage for breakfast. Yeah.
Let's go.
now I want deer sausage. Anyways, you guys all settle down into your beds and your rooms for the night. Some of you, the dreams come on quickly. Some of you, they come on a little slower. Patience, you find yourself irritated, stressed out. You're not arguing with Sophia, but you're kind of doing that like, you're like
Leave me alone.
you're just like hitting that edge with each other. You're just grinding each other just slightly, just enough where it's leave me alone. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Go away. And you just have such a hard time finding that zen, that place
Yeah.
to relax into. And weirdly enough, KB's snoring gets you kind of into a zone. It's like a white noise. As you
KB?
Like KB, sorry.
as you're like trying to stop thinking about the contract. You're trying to not think about what's going on, like all the shit you guys have gotten yourself into, something about all these witches. There's something going around in all these towns. You heard something about the horsemen in Krawlers. You have gotten your ass kicked pretty bad in the last 2 times that you fought. This isn't where you saw yourself, and you get frustrated. And your mind just like keeps circling back around to all those things. Like, I heard Sophia. I'm not leading this party good enough. I'm not pulling my weight. I'm not. And you just in the back of your mind, you just keep hearing. And it kind of drowns out all of that slowly. Several minutes pass by, and finally, you just get annoyed because KB's snoring, and you're like, I'm trying to fucking think. And then you realize, I forgot about what I was thinking about. And several moments pass. And you feel that same euphoric, out-of-body experience. You feel yourself slowly melt into the chair behind you. You feel your body relax, your arms relax. And you float. And you feel yourself sucked away. Thrust across plains, mountains, birds, and you rocket towards a city, a familiar city, a city you've been to before, a city you recognize. You find yourself looking down at Dollar, and you've seen this view before from when you and Sophia climbed the clock tower. It was one of your favorite places to go as kids.
Fuck yeah, it
And
was.
you find yourself looking down at the town, and you go straight through all the buildings, through the street, and you find yourself somewhere dark. Musty. Stench is awful. Sweat. Grime. Blood. You've smelt this before. These are the bone pits.
Yep.
You've been down here before. You blink 3 times. In your mind, you blink. You feel yourself blinking. And the 3rd time that you blink, you find yourself sitting in a cell, cross-legged, across from your father figure. He
What
looks
is it?
rough.
Hmm.
He looks rough.
Does he appear to be conscious?
He's very conscious. I'm getting to it.
Okay.
He's very conscious. He's kind of sitting himself, leaned up against the corner of the wall, kind of one leg tucked up, one leg laid out. The left side of his face is kind of swollen. You see on the wall next to him 15 tally marks.
Hmm.
You see blood, like his knuckles are scraped clean, like somebody that repeatedly was punching something or scraped, like all the skin's
raw.
gone, super raw. Shirts bloodied and torn. You see cuts across the body in numerous places. A couple moments goes by and you watch him kind of go from sitting, and he stirs. He sits forward and kind of like pulls his knees up to his chest. You hear the tap of a sword on a prison door.
Shit.
You're up again. Your next opponent's ready. You dispatched the last one too quick. Let's see how you do this one. You see your father figure look up with his dark green eyes, smirk. He won't last long, I promise. He leans over and you see two straw figures, like little dolls, on the ground. He puts his hand out, rests over the top of them, and you see him scrape some hay kind of across the top of these two little figurines. Sleep well, Patience and Sophia. And you see him stand up and walk out of the cell. You find yourself sitting in the cell, like looking out towards the cell, stunned,
Like
dumbfounded. Shock, awe, pride, anger, excitement. Those 15 tally marks. That might be all the matches he's won.
not surprising.
Suddenly you feel warmth. Like humid. Like deep humidity. And you hear the clacking of bugs and some creatures making noises in the distance behind you, kind of behind your ear.
Is it
And
like,
you
is there a
hear-
window?
And you hear water, and somebody's splashing in the water. Directly behind you.
I'll turn around and look and see.
As you turn around, the cell room that you are in disappears. You find yourself sitting in an open grove. Before you, incredibly vibrant plants, purples, reds, deep purples, hanging vines, mountains or something in the far off distance. You see a couple of birds. Are they birds? What are those? Extremely magnificent, illustrious, crazy looking bird-like creatures. And about 20 feet from you, like a small pond, and you see the water kind of ripple. And in slow motion, you watch this elongated creature, large, almost elk-like antlers, elk-like antlers, like stretches out into these big, like almost illustrious, like antlers with chains and lockets and flowers hanging from them, and these two almost like elongated doe ears and this accentuated kind of like not super pointy face, but definitely like a more elongated face.
Kind of exaggerating like the typical features of like a deer or a
Yes.
other
And strangely looks
similar creature.
a lot like Nova, but with accentuated features. And
No,
she
wait,
begins to
Nova?
rot,
Like
looks a lot like Nova. Accentuated
Nova or
features.
Evelyn? Which
Nova.
one? Okay. Huh.
Accentuated features, elongated ears, these kind of like pointier eyes, elongated face, and this giant, almost elk-like antlers. And she rises out of the water, completely nude, but rises out of the water, and he just long hair that drapes down, like out of the movies where it covers everything of importance. But this,
Yes, the convenient censorship.
but elongated hair. And with a
Hmm.
smile, she slowly trots towards you with these, like, just long, thin legs, but, like, elegant and strong looking, but, like, just long featured body.
Hmm.
And she strides for you and sits directly in front of you. She touches the top of her
Hi.
forehead and, like, gestures out towards you. I just want to thank you for rescuing my vessel.
You
And
what?
I also am here to call you a moron for making a deal with the devil. But, and she kind of leans in and touches the side of your cheek and like down the jawline. A very brave and courageous one at that. And for that, we'll help you. I will do what I can to help you. In whatever way I can. But I ask one thing.
You said I saved your vessel?
Yes. She's very important to me.
Who's that?
I can't tell you. You must find out for yourself. She's very, very important to me. Somebody that I've held dear to my heart for a very long time.
I
She
guess
might
I'll
come
find
off
out.
rough on the edges, but she hasn't exactly had the most pleasant life.
Sounds a little bit like me.
A lot like yours. Keep an eye on her. And don't go making any more deals with devils.
Well, it's not something I exactly make a habit of doing.
Well, I understand that, but maybe you should steer clear and make smarter decisions when it comes to breaking into people's offices, maybe. That wasn't very smart, but that's okay. She followed you too, and didn't make the greatest of decisions. She never really has, but I still love her.
Okay.
Keep an eye on her, and continue being honest with them. Eventually, they'll open up. I know he seems like a lot, but deep inside, Axel is caring and watchful and brave. He is also one that has come from an incredibly horrible background. I haven't really got to meet the other two per se in the mind. Maybe soon. They seem interesting enough. But
What if I how exactly am I meeting you now? I didn't exactly try to reach out to you.
you're sleeping? Well, kind of. You're meditating. And you're kind of in my realm. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, can I ask who you are?
My name is Anari.
All right. Well, I would introduce myself, but I think you already know who I am.
I do. Have a good night, Blueberry. And she leans forward
Oh, fuck
and
off.
kisses you on the side of the cheek, and she like grabs the other side of your face and kind of pulls you close to her cheek, and her mouth is right on your ear. Continue being brave, strong, and courageous. You have a good group of friends. You just need to open up to each other. You're all a little more fucked up than you realize. And she taps you on the forehead, and suddenly you hear KB's snoring again.
Ugh. Yes. I'll get up and go up to whichever room Sophia went to.
Roll a d6 for me.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Okay. You haven't really been upstairs, so you
No, I
just start
haven't.
opening doors.
Oh, quietly.
In the first door you open, you find a Harold Bean who had made his way upstairs at some point. You're not really sure. One hand on the bed, completely naked, spread bald eagle from the back view. He's face down on the floor, hand on the thing, and all you see is twig and berries poking out the back and two ass cheeks.
Oh. Close the door.
And Mrs. Bean on the other side, mostly closed and currently just absolutely like chokehold on a pillow. Like she's got a pillow right up to the face in her arms and she's just like squeezing that shit tight. After a little more scrounging, couple minutes, you open a couple more doors that do not belong to you, and you do open up the third door in and find Sophia huddled up on one of the beds.
Kind of, being as careful to not wake her up as I can.
Okay, roll a stealth check. And then Sophia, roll perception, please. Or actually, what's your passive?
It would just be against my passive. My passive is only 10.
The fuck is still?
Please roll that one. Okay.
No fucking dice.
You find yourself on edge. Very different sides to a dream. You're pretty awake, and you woke. Like sometimes when you go to, when you go to bed sometimes, and like when you wake up, it's super dark and you can't see shit. But for some reason, sometimes in the dark, you'll find yourself seeing better.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, it's almost like you have dark vision, like really, really good dark vision. Like you find yourself.
I mean, I do.
You do, but it's
enhanced.
But it's not black and white. It's like you're, like it's dim enough that you're still seeing regularly, but for some reason it's like almost like enhanced, like you're using your dark vision.
Huh.
And nimbly make your way into the room, slightly bring up the covers and scooch in without poofing the other side of the blanket.
Oh, I didn't say I was
waking
getting
her up.
in. I'm just like
okay.
sitting kind of on the side.
Okay.
And just looking at her, like.
Do you sit on
Still
her
kinda
side
lost
or the other side?
I'm on her side.
Okay, so you find
And-
yourself on the side of the bed.
I'd probably just stay like that until I eventually PTFO.
Okay.
Just not saying anything.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of
Yep, just sitting there.
staring.
I forgot one thing, and I gotta add that here.
Oh.
Not for you.
Oh, okay.
You're good. You're solid. I just was sitting here thinking about something, and I happened to look up, and it jogged my memory. You sit there silently staring at Sophia as she just gently takes her breaths in and out, chest falling, and like watching her in that rhythmic motion of the breathing. After several moments, the weariness and the extreme exhaustion of the day catch up to you, and you find yourself kind of doing that like forced stay awake, and every time you close your eyes, you're like, oh no, no, not yet. Oh no.
The
And you start
hypnagogic jerk.
Yeah, and you keep bobbing until you don't realize it yourself, but you fall asleep and you kind of fall back onto the bed. To answer your question, Nova, yes.
Oh. Oh.
However you want to.
Huh. Questions?
Yes. Axel,
Not again.
you had a little
Oh,
run-in,
no.
remember, sir?
Yeah, I remember.
Uh-huh.
But I held it off again, bro. Don't
You
do
did,
this to me.
but you still had an episode. Axel, you find yourself relaxed. You find yourself happy. You find yourself stressed and anxious that you might be going back. And it starts to jog memories. And you find yourself kind of in that in-between sleep and awake state. And you find yourself bobbing off, but you're forcing yourself to stay awake because you're not really ready for what might come next. Several moments come in again, and finally you find yourself falling asleep. And as you nod off, the smell of blood fills your nose. Once again, you find yourself on a battlefield. Except for this time, you have no armor, no weapons, but you find yourself standing over a pile of bodies of your friends, allies, people you once called allies. And you find yourself sitting on a pile, just eating, tearing flesh off of the severed arms and legs and whatever else is below you. You take a bite of this arm. Blech. Spit it out. Tastes awful. Take a part of this other. You pick up a piece of a leg, and you take a bite. Delicious. And you start to get excited, and you take another bite until you realize the foot looks similar, and you quickly jut your head down. And you see in the pile a severed head of Nova just staring up at you. And you look at the pile in all directions. And you see members of your party. And you look further down and you see other people that you've met and introduced throughout your trip so far. And you look up across the pile out into this large, vast battlefield, only to see this giant knoll sitting on a pile of bones and bodies as people walk by him in lines, droves, and he just every once in a while picks somebody up and just shoves them into the mouth and looks back up at you with this large grin and smile. And you fade out as the dream continues on for what seems like hours this way.
Question.
Yes.
The body part that you said I picked up and ate tonight that you said was delicious, was that one of Nova's body parts?
Yeah.
That would probably instantly shock him awake.
It fucks you up. It brings you to a point of fear and sitting in the battlefield and watching yourself eat this for what seems like an hour jolts you awake.
He would like instantly like shoot up, like half sitting, go, "No!" And he's grasping at like nothing.
100%.
And he's just looking at his own hands that were trying to grasp air, and you see his hands are like, you know, not to offend anybody, but like full on, almost like Parkinson's. They're like rapidly shaking.
Sweaty and like for Axel, sweaty, kind of clammy, cold.
He looks at you. He's like blinking rapidly as if he's like not really sure where he is yet. Nova? Cord fell. It was another one.
I'm gonna frown. A dream?
He just nods.
I'm gonna kind of let out a sigh, realizing that there's like no immediate danger. It's just a dream. It's not real.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm just causing you trouble at this point. It's probably not very relaxing to have to wake up every other night or so because of something out of your control. It's probably pretty frustrating, isn't it? In the fight with Ufarin, I felt it bubbling up again. I was able to keep it down, but I think they're getting worse. He doesn't say anything or nod his head, but like that's a confirmation in and of itself. I sure hope so. He nods multiple times. But it doesn't seem like he's answering his question. It's more like he's almost like trying to mentally reaffirm himself.
I want to. No, that's not gonna do anything.
Power word kill. Oh, sorry. This puppy's got the rabies.
It's not gonna work. Maybe more for like a flare. It's not gonna actually do anything necessarily, but maybe for just like reassurance, I'm going to cast Sanctuary on Axel, just to maybe give him the feeling of being safe.
Okay.
So obviously it's more of a combat related spell that protects an enemy, or it protects a enemy from attacks. So I want him to have the feeling of like he's protected.
Axel, as you kind of sit there and you're not even looking at Nova, but it's more of that, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. reaffirming yourself. You got to be big, got to be tough, Axel. Can't break you. This can't mess with you, and you just find that fear welling up, and it's almost to a point where you're gonna burst, scream, howl, rage. You're not sure, and then all of a sudden, it just disappears, and you find yourself enveloped by like a whole body warm hug. Like your entire body, every essence of your bone, fiber, muscle, even your brain, like your warm fuzzy brain, you just feel like this warm whole body hug.
Like being wrapped in a warm comforter on a cold day.
And then Nova leans in and kind of like, because you're too big, and you feel these two small arms go up under your, under your biceps, kind of at the top of your armpit, and you feel this head rest against your shoulder, and then just kind of nuzzles in, and you feel secure.
As I cast that too, I'm gonna whisper, "You keep me safe and I'll keep you safe. I promise."
Okay.
And then Ginge, regarding my message, if I am awake,
That music could not have been better timed. Saying. What are you typing? Oh, 1,000%. You literally were in the corner. Watch the whole thing. Yeah, whole thing. Whole combo. Everything. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then the night takes the rest of you. Long rests are had. The morning greets you as an eventful evening and night go from the day before. Everybody gets a long rest.
except for KB.
Very nice.
Sorry, KB.
Womp womp.
I was just gonna say, I think KB actually passed out in real life.
No, I didn't. I just couldn't find my mouse to hit the mute button.
Are you? Never mind.
Old. I'm old.
Time to wake up.
Time to wake up.
I'm gonna try and get up early.
Okay. You get up early to find your feet. You can't feel your feet. Like they're like from the ankle down, you have no feet, and you're like, oh my god. You wake up to no feet. And you sit up quickly in bed, and Patience is laying her fat ass on the end of the bed on the top of your feet, and your feet are completely asleep. Like, to the point of every time you touch them, it almost feels like pins and needles as you try to get them to come back from the dead. But you are
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna immediately see.
Eat shit is what happens. You stand up and immediately.
Hey, I
eat.
rolled a 21 on my deck save.
Okay, there you go.
I collect myself.
So you do like a ninja roll forward, and you catch yourself, and you're like, "God dang it!" And you kind of like clack your feet together, and you're stomping them to try and get them to wake up. All right, all right, all right.
And I'll definitely like have that kind of like I'm trying to be quiet, and then just look back at Patience, knowing I definitely just woke her up, and I'll just kind of stand there and.
She's still out cold.
Yep. And snoring loudly.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna sit down on a chair in the room, pull out my weaver's supply, pull out the deep purple fabric that I bought back in Kaler, and start just weaving up some pretty shrewd kind of like think just like purple wrappings, essentially.
Okay.
But then once those are done, I'm gonna try and intricately carve on each one of them an orange cat. See, looks like. Looks like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and weave that into each of these essentially wrappings. These purple, almost like think like gloves, but without the fingers, just over the palm, essentially.
Okay. How many sets of gloves are you making?
Just one.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
So 2 of them, I guess.
Oh, well then make one for each.
So one set of gloves, 2 gloves, the left and right.
You're still doing the like the thing twice though, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yep. So then roll 2.
And I'm proficient with the Weaver's tools. Do I get to add my proficiency modifier?
You do.
Okay. So a nat 20 to get to a 25, and then a 17.
Okay. So the left one, is actually like the picture you sent, but more detailed. The eyes look more like eyes. The ears have more of kind of an ear look to them, and it looks more like the cat. The other one is pretty much like the picture, but very well done. The first one you get through swiftly, and you actually spend too much time, and so on the second one your hands are a little tired, and so by the time you get to that second one, it's pretty much.
Yeah, and I'm on the second one. I'm rushing to get it done before Patience wakes up. So
Yep.
I'll quickly hide those before.
Oh, jeez. Oh, fuck. When did I fall asleep? Oh, hey.
For some reason, the center of your back
Morning.
kind of hurts, Patience.
What the fuck?
I'm just gonna quietly just kind of come over and sit next to you on the bed and start just kind of like scratching your back.
Oh, thanks. I don't know what I did. Oh, it hurts. I'm gonna have to do a lot of stretches later to get this worked out.
You woke up in a interesting pose.
Oh. Oh yeah, I guess I did. I did come up here. I don't remember falling asleep though. Weird. Listen. I'm sorry if last night when you was trying to get me to come upstairs, if I came off yeah, kind of short, whatever.
Sophia's just gonna kind of shake her head. No, 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 that was... I'm sorry.
For what?
What you did yesterday, I couldn't do, but you sacrificed yourself for the rest of us.
You make it sound like I
Should have
died.
been there. I should have been there thanking you for it.
You make it sound like I died.
The rest of us might have.
Yeah, probably. I mean, would have been all of us.
We're all here because of you.
Yeah. Well, couldn't let it all go without at least getting Furball to agree to fight me. So, it was a necessary.
You have a big smile on her face. The rest of us weren't willing to do it, and so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna be there for you. They all
Oh.
realize what you did too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think.
I made you these, and I'm gonna pull out the 2 sets of purple wrappings.
Oh, what are these for?
I don't know if you really use them, but they're gloves. Kind of.
Well, I mean, yeah, they fit.
If
I look, I think I'll wrap them up.
Don't forget who you are. You're a Hellcat.
Hell yeah, I am. All right. Can we tell if breakfast is being made or not?
Mm-hmm. Maybe?
Huh. We should head downstairs and check in on breakfast, because I'm fucking starving.
What I like to hear.
Although
on,
I
let's
guess
go.
it's my fault for not eating last night, so. Anyway. Heading
You guys
down.
leave and begin to head down. Anybody else? As you wake up?
I'm already there because I tranced for 4 hours.
Correct.
Yeah.
I spent the rest of the time examining the plant that I found in that place and still trying to figure that out. So I'm probably still doing that.
Elf power.
KB, Nova, Axel.
I'm still like in the main room, so I think I'll just kind of naturally wake up when people once people make their way in there.
Yep. The first one to stir, you notice, is Evelyn right off the rip. She just like doesn't even move. You just kind of like all of a sudden look up and she's just like looking at you, and then looking at the plant, and like looks back at you
Almost like
again
a-
like awkwardly, and like goes back to the plant, kind of like a. It just keeps messing with the
like a sleepwalker who just stands in the hallway.
plant. Yeah.
You're not sure if they're awake or asleep. Yeah, I don't have really an agenda for the morning, and I think I would still have a pretty severe headache, so I'll kind of wait till everyone else comes down.
Okay.
I'm gonna wake up probably looking and feeling exhausted.
Yep.
Like I did not have restful sleep.
Can I go make everyone some maple syrup tea to make them feel better?
Can.
Yes, let's get some hot toddies up in this bitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna put my plant away because I've spent 4 hours staring at it and got nowhere. So
Yeah, because it's very early in the morning still, and the beans are not up.
I'll make them maple tea to make them feel better mentally and physically.
All right.
Well,
There's-
I do have cook tools. I could start making breakfast.
Good.
Yeah, while Evelyn makes the tea, I'll get things fired up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Making
we'll
a hearty and healthy breakfast.
Okay. So, Nova and Axel, what are you doing as this is starting to happen?
Nova, as you start to sort of rise, you hear like muttering. Eventually, once you start to come to more and your hearing gets sharper, you see and your vision gets sharper as well. You see Axel. He's sort of sitting cross-legged, with his arms crossed, sort of almost hunched over. He's just sort of like muttering to himself, like "Restar, struma, social." He sort of scratches his head rapidly in sort of mild annoyance.
What are you mumbling about over there?
Oh, sorry. Did I wake you up?
No. I was waking up anyway. Just couldn't help but hear that you're saying something. And I'm still not 100% on your Nullish language yet.
Looks like a light bulb goes off in his head for a moment. He says, "Nova, your people were big on mental enlightenment, yeah?"
Very.
Do you have a word in common for a very wise individual? Like
A seer?
so not like that. Someone who's really knowledgeable and smart about something. In particular, like a savant, but like not that.
I'm actually trying to, out of character, think of a word. Because I was going to use savant.
Like scholar?
Yeah, so I would probably like name off scholar, professor,
Genius.
teacher. Genius, yeah. I'll probably just start naming off a bunch of words. Like that. Is it somebody knowledgeable?
Adept.
Adept is a good one. Okay, adept.
Master?
Would you get to something like sage?
Oh, yep, sage.
Yeah,
Good one.
Because in the beginning I would have said like seer. I don't know if I'd say sage. Maybe. I don't know. Is Nova familiar with sages?
Oh, yeah.
I could roll for. Okay, I'd say sage then.
I mean, that's what basically they were. The three. Like the people that would choose,
No, they were
basically
seers.
they were seers, but some people had called them sages. Shamans. Like you kind of heard iterations of that.
Okay, so yeah, I could say
Yes.
sage or shaman.
Seers.
People like proficient in specific things.
Bekla! He sort of like slams his fist into his palm. That would work.
Work for what? I'm just gonna kind of chuckle at you talking to yourself. What are you up to over there?
You would say that in terms of knowledge about swords, I'm pretty uncontested, right?
Without a doubt.
Then that's who I'll be. And he sort of almost like performingly points at you. The Sage of Swords. That's me.
That's kind of catchy. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
The Sage of Swords. That shall be your title from now on.
He sort of like looks at his hand, he clenches his fist. He's got like a almost an iron-willed look of determination on his face. I'm not gonna let this thing win. I chose swordsmanship because it gave me something that I didn't have. Focus and mental discipline.
I'm gonna be
Um,
smiling as I listen to you. Just very optimistic about how your demeanor's changed.
I can't stop chasing it now.
Well, you keep on this path. I don't think anything's gonna be able to stop you.
And he nods with like sort of a large amount of vigor.
I'm gonna chuckle again. Alright, Sage of Swords. Should we go join the living?
Yeah, let's do that. He sort of stands up, he walks over to the closed doorway and almost like fist bumps it with the bottom of his fist, and it opens up.
Oh, sweet. I'm gonna walk through the door and immediately be hit with a reminder of where we are.
Yeah.
Being kind of closed off in that demi-plane kind of made me feel a little bit removed. I'm reminded where we are, who we're with, and what's been going on, kind of. But I'm gonna, again, do my best to try to stifle any feelings I'm having right now, to try to look unbothered.
He's right behind you as you're sort of taking in the sights. He's taken out like a dry rag and he's wiping away the chalk on the side of the house.
That is certainly nifty. I'm probably not going to get used to that for a while.
True, but now that I know that I can furnish it with basically whatever we want, it should start to feel a bit more homely.
Yeah. I think we can just start with a piece of furniture, at least.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel so much like a cell. I am going to make my way into the Bean's house.
Okay.
I imagine everybody has gathered.
You do not make it there.
I did
need
not
to-
make it there. I don't make it into the house.
No, you're dead.
I did
You
not.
die.
The,
I did. Oh, shit.
the beans assume you were another intruder, and they immediately kill you upon entering.
Oh, Axel has alert. It is not
All right.
possible to kill me because he is alerted and I cannot be killed.
No.
That's exactly how it works, actually.
Yeah, sorry. It doesn't protect you from everything.
And because he's alert and going to take the blow and currently has sanctuary, because I say so, he does not take damage and they cannot target me because I cannot be seen.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah, you are unkillable.
That's awful. You come around the corner to the main door of the building. And you're stopped dead in your tracks, Axel. As you look on the front of the door and a letter folded up with a paw print on top of it.
No, 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 no.
And it is written to you in Nolish.
Oh, scheisse.
Well, I'm not gonna go pick it up yet. So Tor looks at Nova quizzically like that. I was gonna say that I think our new business colleague has decided on something, but I don't think it's from her.
It doesn't look like her style.
I'll walk up and I'll grab it.
I was
Okay.
gonna grab it before you.
On it, along with the paw print, you see a seal of the temple in town that has a stone being broken in half by two like large hands.
I will open it up, break the seal.
Okay. You are weak. You protect nothing. And you have proven that. Meet me here. And prove you are strong.
I'm gonna be watching Axel's face as he reads this, because I imagine the whole thing is in Nolish, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All in Nolish. And as you read the last line, meet me here to prove you are strong, and you fold the letter out, a bunch of sand comes pouring out of it. White sand, and you've seen this white sand before here in Molten Hammer.
Yeah, I
And
think I
that's
know who
where-
it's from.
Where we'll end the night.
Well, shit. I had a bone
Brr,
to pick.
brr, brr.
Had a bone to pick. It's gonna have to wait.
Yes.
Got a bump.
Well, shit. Alright,
Got a
stream.
boner to pick.
Thanks for hanging out. Sorry for the late start. We will be back next week on Wednesday, 8:30 Central. Until then, have a great weekend. Be safe, be kind, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We'll see you at the table.